persons with disabilities can achieve their full potential if they are given the right assistance and opportunities.
And the government of Jamaica is committed to ensuring this happens, forking out $4 billion this fiscal year to improve the living standard of vulnerable groups, which include persons with disabilities. Welcome. It's the Tuesday edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Coming up, we hear from persons living with autism and the government's actions to address this issue. Plus, we give you some tips for dealing with this condition. Stay tuned.
There'll be a better tomorrow. 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 There'll be a day. There'll be a way. There'll come a time to sing a brand new song. There'll be a better tomorrow.
Good day, I'm Stacey Ann Smith, and this is your GIS News for Tuesday, April 29. The Agriculture and Fisheries Ministry is to begin a program that should increase and safeguard the export of Jamaica's non-traditional agricultural produce and products. Portfolio Minister Roger Clark says the program will create an export platform framework that facilitates exchange between suppliers and buyers in Jamaica and overseas. It will be carried out under the ministry's Agricultural Competitiveness Program in collaboration with the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation in Agriculture, IECA.
Within weeks, we will roll out this program with ICA personnel visiting Jamaica to identify and train farmers, existing and potential exporters, and thereafter taking them into the marketplace to liaise directly with buyers and distributors.
Minister Clark says similar initiatives have been used in other countries to successfully promote and expand exports. The export platform will cover training and exposure to international business practices, training in marketing and negotiation skills, and product validation. Government is projected to save more than $1.6 million in annual energy costs with the installation of an energy-efficient air conditioning system at the Spanish Town Hospital. The Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica recently signed an $8.4 million contract with appliance traders to buy the new unit for the hospital's labor ward and maternity wing's operating theatre.
The government is absolutely serious about our efforts at energy conservation and efficiency. And so we regard this as absolutely critical. And the aim is not to pursue this as we have done in the past in one-off efforts, but to make it a sustainable activity for the foreseeable future.
The Energy Minister says government will be spending $20 million this year on a series of energy efficiency and conservation measures. Labour and Social Security Minister Derek Hellier says the country's 50,000 household workers will benefit from the Occupational Safety and Health Act, which is to be passed soon.
When this act finally comes into being later this year, it will have within its provisions for the safe use and handling of chemicals at work and will be applicable to all places of employment, including dwelling houses where domestic workers carry out varying duties.
The Labour Minister was addressing a symposium on Monday to mark World Day for Safety and Health at Work. It focused on safety and health in the use of chemicals at work. Minister Kelly pointed out that while domestic workers are exposed to chemicals in their line of work, they currently have no protection under the Factories Act. That's one of several inadequacies to be rectified under the new Occupational Safety and Health Act. The Act will also establish a Joint Health and Safety Council to monitor the safety and well-being of workers. The Joint Select Committee of Parliament, currently reviewing Jamaica's bankruptcy and insolvency legislation, is expected to conclude deliberations on the proposed new bill soon. The legislation consolidates the laws relating to bankruptcy, insolvency, receiverships, provisional supervision, and winding up.
The need for reform of the law on bankruptcy and insolvency is therefore based on several factors, including the fact that the existing law does not attempt to address the stigma of individual bankruptcy or corporate insolvency, and the interests of creditors are given priority consideration over all other stakeholders.
Minister Hilton was speaking at a recent public forum on the Bankruptcy and Insolvency Act. Once the Parliamentary Committee signs off on the final recommendations, the bill will go to the House of Representatives for debate and eventually promulgated into law. Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites wants students who are transitioning to the work world to change their attitude and become more proactive in their approach.
We can't be passive about it, nor can we have the kind of arrogance that in the past has said, well, after all, I have a university degree, you must employ me. That's not how it goes, you know. Yes? It is for us to comport ourselves in ways that make us marketable.
The minister made the appeal at a recent school-to-work transition survey session. And that's it for GIS News Today. I'm Stacey Ann Smith. Thank you for watching.
What are you doing to help the fight against crime?
Sitting on the corner, minding your own business, definitely not going to work.
It is time for us to unite.
Unite.
Unite for change.
Citizens coming together to make their respective communities safer. The police, schools, public health, business, churches, NGOs, parents and neighborhood watch volunteers.
As we, the police, do our job,
We as citizens need to do our part as well.
Report crimes or even suspicious activities.
Let's all work together
As one united front against crime.
and make Jamaica the place of choice to
live, work, raise families, and do business.
Unite for Change, an initiative of the Ministry of National Security.
I'm trying till I reach my destination, flowing like the birds and the bees.
Don't allow life to give you anything.
Lord, in my head it's a vacation, flowing like the leaves on the breeze.
Whatever you desire to achieve from life, you take what you want from life.
I'm trying till I reach my destination, flowing like the birds and the bees.
We've heard the stories of those who have struggled or have children dealing with autism, stories of pain and triumph. As we commemorate Autism Awareness Month this April, we share a few stories as well as ways to cope with the condition.
Is your child showing signs of delayed development? Does he or she often shy away from interacting with others, appear overly disruptive, or exhibit strange behaviors? If you have them assessed, you may find these are symptoms of one of the most common developmental disorders, autism. Autism is a complex disability which affects the social and communication skills of an individual. Children with autism exhibit mild to severe developmental difficulties in speech, social skills, and physical abilities.
When children, are expected to first say mommy, daddy, or put 2 to 3 words together, children with autism may do that much later, or some not at all. They tend not to respond, so when, you normally ask children, go and get this for me. The child with autism may not be able to respond to that. And you often expect children to point to things as they're growing up. The child with autism often doesn't point or wave by or use other gestures.
Some other indicators of autism include persistent repetitive behaviors, such as spinning objects, clicking light switches, or opening and closing cupboard doors. Severe resistance to change in routine, including their diet or mode of dress, and a tendency to exhibit severe obsessive-compulsive behaviors, like placing things in order all the time. The prevalence rate for those born with the condition has increased rapidly. The latest statistics show that approximately 1 in every 88 children born each year will have the condition.
With our country of about 45,000 births per year, it means that we have about 500 children being born every year in Jamaica with this condition. And because it affects boys 4 times more than girls, each year we will have 400 boys and 100 girls born with this problem.
What leaves experts concerned is the fact that as the number of persons born with the condition increases, research has not yet been able to find an exact cause and ultimately a cure. At present, the best mechanism to deal with autism has been early diagnosis and intervention.
If you can provide children with early intervention when the brain is developing rapidly, then you can make a significant impact. You're probably not going to change the diagnosis of autism, but you're going to improve the child's developmental status.
Jamaica's Education Ministry, in partnership with other agents, has sought to provide support to special needs children and caregivers through multiple initiatives. Facilities such as the Early Stimulation Program and schools like the School of Hope and the Promise Learning and Training Center all get governmental support to offer developmental and social support programs, including speech, occupational and behavior modification therapy, and others. So it's up to parents and guardians to be vigilant and act quickly so their children can have a chance at getting the help they need.
At age 2 or 3, you may see the manifestation developing, where the child may be lacking communication, lacking social skills, or maybe having stereotyped or repetitive behaviors.
Promise, like some other entities, has even gone beyond just early intervention strategies. In addition to early childhood, primary and junior high school facilities, they also have a skills training center, a school band, and a swim program.
If these students were discarded, we would not have seen their potential. So I'm encouraging parents not to give up, but to give them a chance.
He enjoys doing cooking, and so the school has been sort of gearing him towards that. He plays in the school band. He does swimming. He's into Special Olympics. As a matter of fact, he went to Puerto Rico in 2010 with the Special Olympic team for swimming, and he got a gold.
Parental support is also necessary, and that's where institutions like the Jamaica Autism Support Association come in. Founded in 2007 by a couple of resilient parents, the group has monthly meetings and other activities to help both parents and children feel included.
We got to cut out pictures, how things were liked, things that made us happy, things that made us sad.
Things that make me mad or angry is about things that I lost: my jewelry, my shoes, and my ring.
First it started within our circle, and then eventually we made it a national organization for parents out there who not receiving any form of intervention at all, who totally have nowhere to turn to, nobody to turn to, no computer access to know about the disorder.
They get out messages to us that we on our own would never have known before. And with each little message, somebody out there gets inspired and says, you know, this clicks, this happens with my son or my daughter, and maybe I can look up this and help a little more.
Autism is a complex condition, and coping with its diagnosis and treatment takes effort. But if done early and properly, some children can go on to live as close to normal lives as possible. For further information, visit the website www.jamaicaautism.org. Contact the Jamaica Autism Support Association at 831-6140 or the Special Education Unit in the Ministry of Education at 967-2312 or 922-9370-9.
So you've now gained some knowledge on autism. How about some guidelines for parents and caregivers on ways to approach the issue of sexuality with your autistic children?
First of all, we need to recognize that children with autism develop sexually like all other children. No difference. And because of the uniqueness of their situation, where they like routines and they don't like changes, we find that the period of puberty is particularly challenging for our children with autism. Parents will need to recognize that every single child with autism needs to understand the proper names of body parts. If the parents, as first teachers, don't pass that information on, then the children are going to get a lot of misinformation. Not only will they get misinformation, but they may develop inappropriate sexual behaviors. Parents will have to learn how to use replacement behaviors so that a child who is doing something inappropriate in the public, for example, let's say, for example, a boy who may be masturbating, the parent will understand that give that child something to keep him occupied. For example, maybe holding onto a sponge ball or a squeezer or a tweezer or something to keep his hand occupied so that he's not using it in an inappropriate way in the public domain. Girls, for example, who are going through their menstrual period, that's a big change for them, lots of confusion. Parents will have to teach them step by step how to manage those changes and not to get anxious and develop inappropriate behaviors. Social stories are those stories in which we are going to use real-life situations and even the names of the child in the story to help the child to understand the concept that the parent is trying to get across. Videos are also very helpful in that kind of situation.
Stand up and get in the race.
I can become the master of my destiny.
Step up your stride, make we work like a harder. Do it like Veronica, more than a supper.
We can rise above the challenges and shine.
Was with passion in your heart. Make a plan and stop all the idling. You think I saw? We reach a the edging. I can, you can. Like our Olympians, every Jamaican can.
We now shed the spotlight on some deaf athletes who are rising above the odds.
We can make it if we try. Only if we try. Hold your head up, hold it tight. Got to hold it tight. Journey on and never stop. We can make it to the top. We can make
Deaf Sports Jamaica is the governing sports body for the deaf in Jamaica. Started officially in 2010, it's recognized by the Ministry of Sports and has the authority to host sports competitions at all levels for the deaf in Jamaica. Its flagship event to date is the annual National Sports Day. But how did this organization start?
We set up a steering committee and we invited different people to be involved, from the Jamaica Association for the Deaf.
But when the group contacted the International Committee for Deaf Sports, they discovered someone else had already set up a local body.
And his name was Peter Kavanagh. And we made contact with him and we invited him to the meetings. And that's where it started. And now we're merged together and we have one organization.
The organization's athletes have participated in a number of local and international meets. Chief among these is the 2013 UTEC Classics locally and internationally, the World Deaf Athletic Championship in Canada, held in July 2012.
We didn't win any medals, but I believe that we brought a beautiful history to Jamaica, knowing that we are the first deaf Jamaicans who participated in that. That is history in an international game.
As with any group of sportsmen and women, there are challenges, as their coach explains.
Fine so far, but they need to come out more often.
Coach Sutar, who has worked with deaf athletes for over 20 years and has been training the Deaf Sports Jamaica athletes, expresses his desire for the team.
I'm told that there's a deaf circuit where the deaf go regularly and compete with other international deaf athletes. And I'm hoping that we'll reach there where we're on that circuit.
Deaf Sports Jamaica is not only engaged in athletics, but other sports such as football and basketball. But how do some of the top athletes feel about the movement?
It's going well, I'm enjoying it, and I continue to come to training often. And I don't miss any training at all. I'm hoping to beat Bolt record. We'll see. I'm gonna try. Training is hard, but I'm ready. I've qualified for the Olympics, the Deaf Olympics already. I'm really happy about being a part of deaf sports because I want the world to see that deaf people can run.
While sponsorship is critical, the team is also making an appeal to Jamaica for greater inclusion.
We want more exposure. We want deaf athletes to be involved in all track invitationals. For example, if they have a local or international event, allow us to participate.
We can make it if we try. Only if we try. Hold your head up, hold it tight. Got to hold it tight. Journey on and never stop. We can make it to the top. Don't waste your time with thoughts of giving up. It's all in your mind. Let it go, let it go.
My name is Jason Ricketts, and I employ all youth with disability to not give up hope.
Another day comes, another day goes.
There is a space out there for you. You just need to work hard, and I'm sure that your training will help Jamaica move forward to meet Vision 2030 plan.
Don't waste your time with thoughts of giving up. It's all in your mind.
Calling all Jamaicans. Come share your views on how the government can improve greater access to drinking water. The Ministry of Water, Land Environment and Climate Change, MWLECC, wants to ensure that you get the opportunity to speak up on the draft water sector policy and implementation plan. The Courtly Hotel is the place to be on April 30 at 6 p.m. The consultations are being staged by the Ministry in collaboration with Global Water Partnership Caribbean. 100% access is the target, so come, speak out and get heard. To find out more about the water sector policy and implementation plan, visit the Ministry's website, mwh.gov.jm, or call 926-1590.
My role in national development? Well, other than my work, I volunteer and help others. And you'd be surprised to know how many youth with disabilities are playing a significant role. We went out the road to hear from a few of them.
We can play a lot of role. For example, the blind cricket, forcing development, and we take part in national development. For example, we can see Mr. Floyd Morris in the Tenet.
I'm currently doing a master's degree in cultural studies in the Institute of Caribbean Study and Reggae Study Unit. From this master's degree, I really hope to contribute to the popular culture of Jamaica, specifically reggae music and dancehall music. So one of my aims is to preserve and maintain the culture of reggae.
What youth can do in national development is to be qualified and to get jobs that will enable them to make an impact on society. For example, in my case, I am a trained teacher, but currently I'm an administrative assistant. So I am able to give back to the community by ensuring that the students I serve, the students with disabilities who I serve, get the best out of the University of the West Indies so that they are positive role models for those to come.
I'm currently studying linguistics and language education. My goal is to just really
understand the language, interpret it in the right way so that I can impart knowledge to the students so they may reach further, and that is how I contribute to national development.
It's a new beginning. New day is dawning. It's time to arise. We have the gene of achievement and pride.
Bold new beginning, time for action. We have the spirit to fight on.
This is Jamaica. This is our land. We have our future with God in our plan. We'll play our part building this great nation. This is Jamaica. This is our land. Let us make every effort to forge unity. And resolve to work hard for our prosperity. Leaving our children a legacy of hope. Breaking the shackles and smashing the yoke. This is Jamaica. This is our land. This is our we have our future with God in our plan. We'll play our part building this great nation. This is Jamaica. This Let me hear the children say. This is Jamaica. This is our land. We have a future with God in our plan. We'll play our part building this great nation. This is Jamaica. Come on, everybody, let's sing. This is Jamaica. This is our land. We have our future with God in our plan. We'll play our part building this great nation. This is Jamaica. This is our land.
Jamaica, together we can.
Whatever our challenges, there's no reason to not try. Play your part in building this great nation. We laud all our people with abilities, and remember the greater news ahead. As this legislative year, the National Disabilities Bill is to be passed. Share your feedback on today's program by sending an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. If you want further information, click on our website, jis.gov.jm. Plus, keep in touch with us through Facebook and Twitter. On behalf of the entire production team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson, wishing you love, light, and happiness.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.